This is your weekly news roundup, up until Saturday the 16th December. The General Electricity Company GECOL has signed a contract with Germany's Siemens to build 2 power plants in Tripoli and Misrata. The contract was signed at the German Foreign Ministry during the visit of the Presidential Council Fayez Sarraj. It was signed by the chairman of GECOL, Abdelmajid Hamza, and Siemens CEO Joe Kaiser. The media office of the Presidential Council said the total predicted output of the Tripoli power plant should be 690 megawatts, while the Misrata plant is predicted to produce approximately 640 megawatts. The total amount charged for these services by the Siemens company in the contract is 700 million euros. The President of the Presidential Council, Fayez Sarraj, and the Italian Interior Minister, Marco Minniti, agreed on Saturday to establish a joint operation room to combat smugglers and human traffickers. The operation room is to consist of representatives of the relevant institutions in both countries, including the Coast Guard, Illegal Immigration Control Agency, the Attorney General, and the Intelligence Agency. The agreement came during the meeting between both officials at the headquarters of the Presidential Council in Tripoli. The Anti-Illegal Immigration Department said that immigrants from Morocco, Algeria, Syria and Egypt were captured and diverted to the Trigasikka headquarters in Tripoli, adding that they were all given the necessary assistance in cooperation with the UNHCR. Supporters in eastern Libya of the warlord Khalifa Haftar attacked polling stations and tore up the posters bearing their numbers. The supporters stressed their utter refusal to parliamentary and presidential elections that the HNEC intends to hold in 2018 to end the political division and bring security and stability to the country. They called for installing Khalifa Haftar as president of the country and claimed that elections will only bring the Muslim Brotherhood to power. Over 90 Libyan municipalities and local authorities have issued a joint declaration calling for unity, sovereignty and decentralization in Libya, explaining that this step would be a means to end the conflict and save the country. The declaration was issued on December the 8th following a 3-day meeting in Tunisia for the mayors of almost every municipality and local authority in Libya, according to the press release by the organizers of the meeting. The Chief of Staff of the Tobruk-based Parliament and Military Governor of the Eastern Region, Abdurrazzaq Nadouri, has signed a contract with US-based Keystone Strategic Advisors to lobby for him in Washington. According to a US Justice Department filing, the American company will provide strategic, political and communications counsel to al-Nadouri, including a developing policy and foreign relations goals and assisting in developing a democratic and multi-ethnic Libya. The year-long contract amounted to $450,000. Amnesty International has accused the European governments, particularly Italy, of involvement in the torture and abuse of illegal migrants in Libya. In a new report titled Libya's Dark Web of Collusion, the human rights group said the European governments are actively supporting a sophisticated system of abuse and exploitation of refugees and migrants by the Libyan Coast Guard, detention authorities and smugglers in order to prevent people from crossing to the Mediterranean. The report said the European governments are fully aware of the systematic abuses of migrants and are actively supporting the Libyan authorities in stopping sea crossings and containing people in Libya. The Russian Foreign Minister, Sergei Lavrov, told his Libyan counterpart, Mohammed Siala, that his country backs up holding a national dialogue conference to end Libya's political limbo. Lavrov added to the joint presser in Moscow that the national dialogue is paramount for the country's way out of the crisis. The High National Elections Commission reported that 5,400 voters have registered their names in the electoral record so far. The voters included 1,719 women and 3,681 men. The US Embassy in Libya stated that the decision to ban the entry of Libyan citizens to the United States excludes student visas and exchange visas between the two countries. The embassy said in a statement on Monday that lifting the ban on the entry to America will remain conditional on the cooperation of the concerned countries with the US government to ensure the safety of Americans. It added that the Libyan government faces significant challenges in sharing information on public safety and terrorism. The Special Deterrence Force and a brigade from Tajura district engaged in heavy exchange of fire in El Shut Road, just a few meters away from Martiga Airport on Wednesday. Local residents that live close to the airport said the clashes started at around 1:30 p.m. local time and continued until 2 p.m. The cause of the clashes is not yet known. The fighting forced Martiga Airport officials to cancel the flights for the safety of the passengers, but were later resumed after clashes ended. No casualties were reported. The European Union has pledged a €10.9 million health programme which aims at supporting Libyans in order to get better access to healthcare. The EU programme, according to the European Commission press release, will directly benefit the Libyan population and improve their access to healthcare. And that has been your weekly roundup from the Libya Observer.